Right, hello. Boy, I was going to try and get an early night tonight, and now it's already gone 12. Oh dear, and like an idiot, I just did one last number jump, and then now I'm doing a video because of it. Anyway, um, we're going to decode this scene in Ipet Goat 2 yet again. I don't know how many times I've done this. I've done it, it must be a dozen times I've looked at this, tried to figure out a date from it. So we've had a lot of tries at this. I don't know if this is the last try at it or whether there'll be another one after this, but this is really, really interesting, hence why I'm doing a video about it. Anyway, we're going to decode Madonna's death out of here, and we're also going to tie this back into a recent uh, couple of people that I was just looking at, which was the Diogo Jota thing with Liverpool and his brother as well dying in that car crash. With what I was going to say, Andre Silva. Okay, so I did that decode with all the Silver stuff. Anyway, we're going to go into we're going to go back to American football now. Okay, with this one, but this also ties back in with these other two footballers, and we're going to anyway. Blumenau. Okay, iPet Goat 2. Where do I start with this? So I'm thinking, well, when we see this, we've got a connection to Madonna straight away. We've got Madonna and the Christ child type thing dead here. The Black Madonna, and this is, when we go into the Matrix, this is what happens. Yeah, it's basically the death of us. Yeah, and one represents the physical, one represents the metaphysical. Okay, so it's just the death of us as we go into the Matrix. Okay. This is become the black pearl, and when we're in that system, we're essentially dead. This is us lying here. Anyway, so we have the Christ, Virgin Mary stuff going on here as well. Okay, now, so we're going to look at Super Bowl. As you know, many people have decoded this out as the Super Bowl trophy. Okay, the Lombardi trophy. And what we will do is we're going to go look at Madonna's Super Bowl, okay? Because that would be an obvious place to look at. And I've already done number jumps for this, and it wasn't coming out anything interesting with Madonna. But let's go look at her Super Bowl here. And what we need to do, well, let me show you, because we need to do some of this symbolism first, okay? So we're in iPet Goat here. Right at the start of this, we see, if you see my thumbnail there, we see the goat, yeah? This is important, the goat. Okay, this is Ipet Goat 2. Let me show you something now to connect all this together. Let's go to this. Okay, this is it's been a few years back now. They did this projection up on the Hoover Dam. Okay, this is Colm FC. Okay, German football club, right? They've got the goat symbolism. So we've got the goat up on the dam, right? We've got the Twin Towers in there with Colne Cathedral, and this one FC we're going to change to numbers before. I've decoded this several times before. Okay. We even have the sort of Hoover vacuum company kind of almost logo in here as well with this. So kind of interesting stuff. Anyway, this goat is on the dam. Now let's go back to Madonna's Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl 46. Okay, so we've had a lot of 46s coming up. And in Super Bowl 46, where the hell's it gone? Madonna comes, they start her halftime show, and she's coming in on this throne that is the Hoover Dam. Okay, the golden throne here, yeah? Notice she's got the headdress on. Yeah, she's dressed up like a goat here, climbing on the dam. This is what the ibex goat does, by the way. It gets up on the dam to eat the minerals. Okay, kind of reminds me of of that that bit in Snatch where Tommy's got his gun and they're um, what's the name's going on about, have you got the minerals? Oh dear. Anyway, so this is the goat climbing on the dam. Yeah, just as we see with this Colne FC logo up on the Hoover Dam. Yeah, this is Madonna here climbing on the dam. Right now, what is interesting about this is, let's go to the actual Super Bowl 46. Okay, and what we have going on with Super Bowl 46, okay, it's at the Lucas Oil Stadium. Yeah, so again, all of this stuff that we've been looking at has been to do with Lucas numbers, so this is really important. Notice that we're in Indianapolis, okay, in Diana, okay. Are you getting that reference to being inside the temple in Diana? Noticed it was on the 25. Okay, we've had a lot of 212 references with Madonna. Obviously, the number jump. If you go from her birthday out to 8/20, which is this date that we're looking at in here, we're going to look at it in just a minute. So the 20th of August, that number jump for Madonna is 22. Well, I just write it in here. In fact, that thing don't work very good on for some. Look at that. So the number jump for her is 2, 4, 4. Come on, 7, and it could either be 7 or 6, depending on whether you include the end date. Now, if you use this number here, this is the 21st Lucas number. So this is interesting with the 212 numerology in here, and this 25 again. Oh my goodness, how many times have we gone over this? It's a reference to the cup of Christ again, to the holy chalice. Yeah, to the feminine, and it's also the twins as well, because it's the face off. It's one face facing the other that forms that metaphysical negative space there. Okay, and also we did the Diana stuff with the 25, with her train on her wedding dress being 25 feet long. So this train reference, train matches with Madonna with the gematria. 26, 62, 37 is a match for Madonna with train and train and Madonna. Okay, so super duper important stuff. Notice again that the winning team is this 21. Yeah, this is the 21st Lucas number. Okay, and the other number that we have in here is the 17. Oh my gosh, it's Diana's birthday. Yeah, the 1st of July. Super duper important with the mirror reference with the 7. Okay, and this idea of coming back through the mirror, you know. Anyway, let's get on to the important part here. MVP, Eli Manning. Now, we've just done a ton of stuff with Peyton Manning, and as soon as I saw this, I thought, I'll just do a number jump for Eli Manning and just see where it comes out. Okay, so where it comes out, let's do the number jump. Okay, so Eli Manning comes out at 163. 2 zeros on the end. It's a really nice number, the 163. In fact, I probably could put 163 in and we could just look at it as a number itself, but I don't even want to, let's not even worry about that right now. This 163, why is this so important? Let me show you. The 163, let's go back to this, the Colne FC logo. Now this is 1FC. Let's see if I can write on here. Come on. So the F is what? 6. The C is 3, and obviously we've already got the 1. Yeah, 1.63. 163. Okay, this logo with the goat climbing on the dam as what Madonna does in the halftime show. Okay, she's climbing on the dam just like the goat there with the 163 numbers there. Eli Manning. We've just done so much on Eli Manning. Not Eli, Peyton Manning. And now we're on the brother. Okay, and so we're going to tie this back in with the other two brothers, the other two football brothers that we were looking at, which was Diogo and Andre. Okay, yeah, so we've got football brothers. Okay, football brothers again. So Eli Manning, yeah, he's got the. Did I show you this? I should have probably showed you this first. Okay, Eli Manning, 1381. Okay, 1381. This is his birthday through to Madonna's potential death date, 163. Now, what is super duper important about this is, well, oh man, there's so much to show you. It's just mental. Let's actually go to Colne FC and just look at the birthday. Notice the birthday, the 13th of Feb, the 13th of February. Let me show you something here. So this is the chart of Lorraine for new people. Don't get too overwhelmed with this, okay? These are number sequences, real number sequences. This is the Fibonacci sequence. You might have heard of that one. Is Lucas numbers. Okay, Lucas numbers is very similar to Fibonacci. It just starts on a number 2 instead of, 0 to 1. Anyway, you can go and look these two numbers up, these two number sequences up. Okay. What is important about these number sequences as well is they encode, or they have running in them, the golden ratio. So between all these numbers through here, you can pick out any two numbers and you can get the golden ratio from these, or at least an approximation of the golden ratio. Okay. Anyway, so we just want to concern ourselves with Lucas numbers because look, they were playing it at the Lucas Oil Stadium, and 213 is the start of Lucas numbers. Okay, 213 is the start of Lucas numbers. So that is extremely important. Okay, extremely important. This shows up. This is referenced in the dollar bill, and it's referenced in so many things. Okay, so many things. Anyway, that's the beginning of the cycle there. Now, let me show you where so you can't tell from here, but the 1.63 is in here. Okay, so if we go to the center of the table, which is these two numbers here, and the 29 is the amalgamation of those two numbers. Okay, in the 7 column here. This is why the white wedding date of 729 with Charles and Diana is so blooming important. Okay, that 29 is what will be coming up after, the number 29 will be coming up after the 1st of September. Okay, which is a date I've been looking at for the Hoover Dam quite a bit recently, and maybe even the start of World War III. But let's keep it simple here. Anyway, if we divide this 18 that's right here by 11, the result of that is 1.63, and it's actually 1.63 reoccurring, so it's 1.6363636363. Now, the what was I going to say about it? So this is, kind of a hidden number that's between these two, yeah. And the golden ratio is 1.618, yada yada yada. Okay. So it's always a kind of approximation. I think the further on you go out, the closer you get to, a better approximation of the golden ratio. Okay, so this is important with the connection back to gold as well. Okay, but yeah, super duper important. Okay, and of course um, Madonna's son, Rocco 118. His is the 11th of August birthday, and of course we also had um, Hulk Hogan dying at the age of 47. Dying at the age of 47. Dying. Let me say that again. Hulk Hogan's 47th birthday was on the birth of Rocco Ritchie. Okay, Madonna's son. Okay, so when Rocco Ritchie was born, it was Hulk Hogan's 47th birthday. Yeah, pretty important stuff as well. Anyway, I'm getting well sidetracked on all that. Let's just talk about. So there's our Lucas number stuff. The 47 will be popping back up here in a minute. And also, hang on a minute, before we just get off of there, let me just note this. Look, the 47, and it's tying into the to this number here as well, the 17 and the 47. Okay, because we've got a number jump coming up that connects us back to these numbers here. Okay, and I believe we had a number jump. I don't have that in here. It doesn't matter, right? Just bear that in the back of your mind. So here's our 163. Here's Madonna doing this at that Super Bowl. Eli Manning is the MVP. Okay, we've looked at the numbers there, and it's the 163 from his birthday through to the potential death date of Madonna. Well, let's get better than this, right? So what I've got here is I've got the same number jump, just got the end date included. Okay, and if we look at this now, 16301, and we look what it comes through to, it's the 1892nd prime. Okay, when I saw that 1892 there, I'm like, bloody hell, that's blooming. In fact, when I saw the 63, the 163 as well, I was like, that's blooming Liverpool's birthday. Yeah. So if we go back to Liverpool, where the hell is it? Okay, you'll see 3rd of June, 1892. So we just did the decode with Diogo Jota and his brother dying, and Diogo again, he's wearing the shirt 20. Okay, very important with this potential death of Madonna. And again, if you just look at let me just show you something here real quick. If you just look at the top of the metaphysical, it's a 5, and if you look at the bottom, okay, the top and the bottom, it's the 25 numbers again. One thing I forgot to mention with that, I did put it in the comments, but those two, when they crashed that car, died on the A52, the A52. That was the road that they died on. Anyway, so we've got this numerology in there, and we were dealing with the idea of them being twins with the 9/11. Yeah. Again, we had this. This was Liverpool that Diogo played for, and then Andre played for, however you say that, this club, and they had very similar things going on with the Phoenix. This is going to be super important in a minute. The Phoenix here, yeah, that's actually, I don't know, they were calling, when I watched Decoding with Cody, they were actually initially calling this a liver bird. But it looks like a phoenix. Got the flames here as well, okay? But then we've got the same thing here with the dam symbolism with the, let me put this on. So we've got the, this part of the thing, well, however you want to do it, is the dam, and then matching up with the other side. This is a crown here, okay, and then the Twin Towers on fire. And then if you go to the other shield here, we got the same thing going on. You've got the crown here, got the shield, okay, for the dam, and then if you recall Madonna's funeral rites video, let me show you something about this as well, just while I'm here, because notice these could be swords or they could be daggers, okay. These could be twin daggers here, which is interesting because in funeral rites Madonna has the stiletto on, okay, and the stiletto is a dagger basically, hence why the shoe gets its name, okay. So this was interesting with those twin daggers there, again the twin reference, and the stiletto reference, because remember the ball, as we talked about with football, the actual football is the metaphysical, yeah, and then the foot itself becomes the reference to the phallic symbolism, okay. And so what we've got going on here with funeral rites was this was a dark cigarette which represent the metaphysical tower, okay, the spiritual tower, the spiritual side of reality, which is the football, okay. You know, it's just absolutely crazy. Note this 38 here because we'll talk about that in just a second. The other thing I forgot to mention about this so this is the foot as well, the circle around here with the 22 inside it, for the wedding of Diogo Jota, was that if that is just the letter, okay, O, now that can be reduced to a 6, so you get a 622 for his wedding date where the rings are exchanged, yeah, the ring around here, okay. Anyway, this could be essentially what she is crushing here, you know, could be that football, okay, that football that we're seeing right here, okay, with the well, not live bird, but with the phoenix, yeah. Now what is also interesting about this, so let me get to the point here. So this whole connection with the 1892 thing with the date and that prime number and the 63 being in there, and obviously it was all about the twins here, okay. Again, don't forget we've got the Cologne Cathedral there with the twins, okay, the twinism again with 9/11, but we've also got and Cologne Cathedral we've talked about before, it's got some interesting numbers that go along with it. We've also got, I forgot what I was going to say now. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, this is what I want to show you. At the end of her halftime show, we have the phoenix right at the end of this. She goes down a little hole in the stage, like she's going out of the dam or whatever, or the dam's breaking, and then we have this phoenix at the end of this, okay. Notice all the gold, okay, and don't forget that Donald Trump on 9/1, because this is our date for the Hoover Dam, the 9/1 is going to be 79 years 79 days old, double gold, okay. And I felt like there was something else I wanted to say about, felt like there was another reference I had with I can't remember now. Okay, anyway, so this is what we've got going on here. We've got the twinism going on with the football brothers here, and then we did all the stuff on Peyton Manning, okay, with Ozzy and that whole death thing, and Ozzy was tying into Madonna as well. You'll have to go back and watch my other previous videos to this, okay. But could this be Could this be Peyton Manning? Eli Manning here. Oh, I'll show you one more thing as well. If this was Eli Manning, lots of people have got numbers out of here before, but if you just look at this, If I just draw over the top of the tiers here, there is an E, here is an L, and here is an I. Eli. Wow, I mean, a stretch, I don't know. That's pretty blooming interesting, isn't it? Eli. So could this be Eli Manning and Madonna, and the number jump between them is we get back to that 163. Okay, the 163 is on this. Coincidentally, they did this alongside a Freightliner. I can't remember what it was, like a promotional thing, and they actually show the dam all busting up and everything, and I've got some stuff on it. It's well buried in the back catalogue. But anyway, the 163, absolutely nuts. Yeah, that was that number jump. Oh dear, oh dear. I see that 163. I knew exactly the decode. I think I've covered everything. We've kind of gone through all this. Okay, the Colts. Oh, and this is the other connection as well. So they played that game at the Lucas Stadium. Yeah, the Lucas Oil Stadium. The halftime thing was a Bridgestone halftime thing. Don't forget we had the blowout with the tyre, supposedly on the Lamborghini there with Jota. And then this is the other symbolism here. Both of them, both Eli and Peyton, played for the Colts. Okay, and the Colt, again, the horseshoe here is the dam. This is the dam. Yeah, it forms the womb shape as well. Funny little coincidence. That is the reason why I'm in America is to I came over to become a horseshoer. Yeah, a farrier, putting shoes on horses. Okay, so this is kind of a nice little reference, little personal reference as well. But this is the dam. Yeah, you'll often hear dams referred to as horseshoe dams. If they've got that curve in them, like the Hoover Dam has. What else was I going to mention? I don't know. I think that'll do. I think that's it. Don't forget we had. Don't forget also that Peyton Manning's stuff was also on the dollar bill. Okay, there's a reference to the Colts and the Broncos on the dollar bill. With the 18 again. Okay. I think that's it. Let's just whiz through it because I don't want to accidentally have forgotten. I think there's one more number jump in here. Hang on. So this 13th of Feb, 1948. Look, it's 77 years old now. Colne FC. Let's do that through to Madonna's birthday. Okay. 2/13/48. Look at it. 38, 38. Remember what was on the bottom of the shoe on the foot for the football? Oh dear, the 38, 38. I believe in one of those previous videos we had a 38, 38 reference. I'm pretty sure we did. It might have been an 83. It might have been like a 3883 or something like that. But we had a whole bunch of 38 stuff. So this is really interesting. We might have even had a 38, 38. But I couldn't find it on my bit of paper, and I wasn't going to go back looking through all those old videos. Also remember in the gematria, Omaha, which is Peyton's call, is a 38. Don't forget Hoover is a 3883 with the 79 for gold in there, the atomic number of gold again. Gold itself is also a 38. There's also gold also matches up with Omaha a little bit better because 3820 and 3820 in there. And I think one of the beaches in the landings on D-Day might have been gold as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. So matching up with Omaha twice there. And then the other 38-38 that springs to well, it's a 38-83-79 again, the same as Hoover, is murder. Yeah, and you'll notice that in The Shining we have the red rum reference, and also in Who's That Girl, red rum is written on the side of the Rolls Royce. Very interesting stuff with those connections. Yeah, I wish I could remember what that 38-38 number jump was. Anyway, maybe I don't know. Maybe if somebody's just watched one of them older, it wasn't that long ago, just a few days ago. If somebody's watched that, probably let us know in the comments. Anyway, that's it. Okay, super fascinating stuff. I don't know what that does if you do this. Probably should have checked that. Nothing interesting. Oh, 444 down there. Nothing really interesting. But anyway, Wiffly Waffly. That is that the decode for this? I don't know. Is this Eli? Is this Super Bowl 46? And is it the number jump from Eli through to 820 that gives us the 163, which is on here on the Hoover Dam with the goat climbing, and in her halftime thing she's doing the goat climbing on the dam here, and then we have the Phoenix stuff referenced right at the end. Yeah, the Phoenix stuff referenced right at the end with these two, with the Phoenix, with the Liverpool, and whatever this is. I don't even want to try and say it and make a real hash of it, but okay. World peace. This could be kind of ironic, as somewhat ironic if World War III was to break out in sometime, around the 1st of September. Anyway, with the Hoover Dam. But there you go, the Phoenix rising. The rebirth of man. Thanks for watching. I think that was everything. Yes. Oh no, it wasn't. What was this one? Hang on. Oh, yeah, let me just mention this as well. This is Peyton Manning to Eli Manning's birthday. Did we mention this? It had the 1747. Yeah. So when we were looking at those Lucas numbers, the 47 is super important. Again, this 17 with Diana, and in Lucas numbers as well. Yeah, super important. In fact, I will just show you one more thing with this as well in Lucas numbers, and just note this: the 272 prime. Crazy. Let me just show you one more little bonus thing, right? So if you're new here and you've not seen anything about this chart, it's worth going back through the back catalogue and just looking up stuff, just looking at a video that might reference the chart of Lorraine or something, because there's a lot of Back to the Future stuff in here. Okay, but hang on a minute. Let's bring up this one where I've got the 4 rows scribbled in. Okay. Now just look at something here with the 4 rows. So very quickly, this, if I draw a line here and I draw a line here, this becomes the clock tower in Back to the Future. This is the clock here, yeah, with the 1004 on it, with the 14 numerology there. And the ZZ is the lightning strike. Okay, the ZZ Top, they use that music, ZZ Top's music in the thing. This is also creating the name Aussie here as well, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. You'll notice that when the lightning strikes the top of the clock tower, it goes down the line. There's a whole bunch of other stuff to do with these numbers over here, but just look what it passes first of all. The 911. Okay, it comes over to this side of the road, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's decoded that's in here. Okay, the doorway on the clock tower. So this would be a column here. This would be a column here. This would be a column here, and this would be a column here. The doorway on the clock tower is this 20 here. Okay, the 20. Okay, Again, we're looking at 820. If we look above there, look at, we got Diana's birthday numbers when we put the 4 row in. Okay, the 1 7. Yeah, it's occurring here as well, but we've got it up here. You could reduce that 17 to an 8. Yeah, so you got the 820 here. Look what is right next door to this 17 is the 28 again. So it's just one of those things. If you're familiar with the channel and you've seen me do this decode in here with the clock tower before, it's absolutely crazy. But again, the 820 is right here. Now remember, the hoverboard, the hoverboard scene in Back to the Future 2 is to do with the Hoover Dam, the hoverboard, yeah? They smash through this panel here, okay? The glass door that's there, okay? You know, what else can I say about it? Okay, thanks for watching. I want to go to bed, alright? I'll catch you on another video soon, alright? Good night.